Hi guys, this is Rowan or Joey. This is a video about protection and purification from negativity and people sending you hate and negativity. This is actually a requested video. You have to excuse me if I'm drinking water throughout, my throat's still sore from my teeth. A requested video from someone who, I won't say your name in case you don't want me to, but from someone who is new to the pagan path, and they'd not long ago left a different religion, and they'd got quite excited and felt like they'd come home, and they were, you know, positive about it, and they showed some support for Lady Fairy Moon, and then weird things started happening, and they watched my video, which was a video response to Lady Fairy Moon, in which I described that I'd showed support for her, and the similar things started happening to me, that I was undercoming negative attack for doing it, and I briefly covered some ways in which you could spot it. So in response firstly to your email, yes, I think the things that you are suggesting and the fact that you think of the negative vibes from YouTubers suggests that you are experiencing some negativity being sent in your way, if not, well, I would say on purpose, because you describe no energy, no appetite, horrible headaches, and all your fears are bubbling up and making you think you've done the wrong thing, and think you're on the wrong path, think you're on the wrong track, making you doubt yourself. These are all signs of negative attack. The physical ones I mentioned in my videos, that does happen. Negative people who send out crap, psi vampires, whatever you want to call them, they prey on people's pre-existing worries and fears. So in my video I said I was getting these suggestions that I shouldn't be making YouTube videos, which was new for me and a big step for me. That was already a worry of mine, and a worry that I was pushing through on my own. And when I was ill and down, these suggestions came through to try and force me to give up. And it sounds very much like the suggestions where they're making that you need to go back to the religion that you left, that this isn't right for you, and making you worry, making you sick. Sounds very much like the same thing. Something hasn't. Fear is a tool of these people. So the best thing you can do is not give in to fear. You have to decide in your own self what is the path for you. And if you honestly felt before this started that this was your path, that you had come home, that you were happier and more excited at getting to know this path, then that does suggest that you were on the right track. Okay, so because this video is about purification and protection, it's going to be a long video because I've been doing a lot of this for a long time, and I've separated it into 3 basic ideas. Now the first one, especially because you said you were new and there are other people who are new and don't know what they're doing yet, is the simple, no tools really involved ways to purify and protect yourself and your home, followed by basic tools and things you can do, and then a few extra bits bits are a little bit more complicated, spell work and that sort of thing. So first and foremost, we're going to cover simple, generally speaking, no tools apart from what you probably have around the house or is really easy to come by. So the first thing that you can do to purify and protect yourself, I just wanted to grab something from over here that I meant to grab earlier. Oh, I thought I was all prepared. You should see the amount of stuff around me. The first thing that you can do is involving the shower and the bath. Bath, blah, blah, blah. So, everybody has a shower or bath most mornings. Most people. So, you can take that experience and magicify it, if you like. What I do when I have a shower is I visualise the water being like intensified white light and water, and as I'm washing myself, I'm also cleansing myself of all negativity. So you're washing away all dirt, washing your hair, scrubbing your nails, getting rid of all that dirt and whatever, and so as you're doing that, cleanse as well. So imagine that the white light goes through you, any negativity is coming out, being washed away down the drain. You could even say it, you know, by water, by light, may I be cleansed. Say it a few times, say it until you feel it, and feel yourself like that. And that will be a really easy way to cleanse yourself. Now, if you have a bath, you can go even further. So you can have a plain bath if you like. You can add salt, is a really good purifier, or salt and some herbs if you have any. Now, if you're new to this, often it can be difficult to know what's put in. So if you want to stick with herbs that you can easily find in the supermarket, say dried, sage and rosemary. They're two really good ones. Perfectly safe to put them in your bath. And you can put it in loose, or you can put it in a little sachet bag. But if you haven't got a little sachet bag, take some salt, take your rosemary and sage in your hand, like cupped in your hand, and as the water's already flowing and running, imagine it being full of white light, and you can ask it to purify you, and drop it in the bath, and get in the bath, and the same sort of visualising all the negative, leaving you can fully submerge yourself for a second, and that helps cleanse off all the negativity. And that's a really simple way. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I cover it all slowly and efficiently, so you get the idea of cleansing yourself of all the negativity. So you know, you're washing yourself, you're washing it all away, you're making it leave, and you have to sort of believe that here as well as going through the motions. Now, what I should have said first, actually, but although cleansing yourself first might be a good idea, often the simplest, easiest, most effective way that you can sort out these sort of things, especially when you're new, is just by yourself, quietly sit and ask the universe, the God and the Goddess, for help. Often like a prayer, if you want to compare it to something from your previous religion. It's spell work is like prayer. You're asking for help, or you know, utilising the tools you have available to effect change. So just heartfelt from the heart, help me, universe, help me see which is the right way to go, and help me overcome this negativity. Be heartfelt, be truthful, be honest, and just ask for guidance and help. Often that can be especially when you feel like you're in a lot of trouble. Negative workers often prey on the problems that you already have. So if you suffer from depression, and I suffer from depression, so I know what I'm talking about here, and they will intensify what you are already experiencing. So if you feel low, they will use that foothold and push it through to the extremes. So you have to utilise all the tools available to you that you would usually use to get through those sorts of things, to get through this. Now, There are some other things that you can do that will combat the depressive state of mind, or help me combat a mild, mind you, this is mild, depressive state of mind. And these don't require anything. These are altering your mindset, the way that you are thinking, to stop these people having an effect, just to not allow the negativity they are sending to you, to purify yourself of negative suggestion, thought, that sort of thing. Ha, that's what I wanted. Right, that's there for next. Okay, so how do we alter our mindset? A really powerful way of doing this is music. Stick your headphones on, stick your iPod on, stick the radio on. Play your favourite upbeat, cheerful song and allow that to lift the bad feeling you're in. Sometimes if I can't do that, I'll listen to a few angry songs and then move on to something more cheerful, because that anger allows you to get about the situation that's being sent at you, to fight it off. And then one of the most powerful ways of getting rid of people who are being negative is to enjoy yourself, to laugh, to dance, to listen to music. So you are listening to something, that music or whatever, that changes the mindset of your soul and stops that negativity overriding everything else. So by bringing joy and happiness, you are stopping them from getting a foothold. And there's some other little things you can do as well. For example, clothes. Think about the colours that you decide to put on when you are feeling down, low, or like the negativity is getting at you. For example, today I have red. Red is a powerful colour. It's the power of strength, of power, of fighting off negativity. You could also use black if you like, because that's a good reflector. White is a good light colour to bring reflect negativity again, and to bring lightness to your world. Blue for healing. I would suggest any of those if you have any of those, or if you have accessories in that colour, or you could even use makeup or nail varnish if you wear them. So what have I got available to hand? Okay, so available to hand is a yellow nail varnish, bright yellow, happy colour. So just put your favourite makeup on, put your favourite nail varnish on, and you are not allowing them to dictate to you how you look and feel. So you are doing something positive, you're using your favourite colours, you're using your favourite things, you're making yourself feel happy. And yes, it's cosmetic, but it's a surprisingly powerful act of defiance, because you're not letting them win. So, a little bit more on the mystical side maybe. There are meditational things you can do. So firstly, once you've showered and cleansed yourself, you can then meditate. Now, one of the first ones I was ever told to do was to lie down and close my eyes and visualize that I was on a beach of sand. So you could, with the warm sun beating down on you, not too hot, just comfortable and warm, and the white sand underneath you. And then you look up at the sun, and it doesn't hurt your eyes, but it is in fact a white quartz crystal. And the crystal emits a white beam of light that goes to your here, or to your crown. And the light works through you, through each chakra, and all the way down, and all that. You can imagine the black negative energy coming out of your feet, being absorbed by the white sand, and the white sand sparkles and transforms that black negative energy that is being released into white energy, or more sand. And then you are basically meditating to push out all your negative energies, and it's a really relaxing meditation that you can do. These are all self. I'm going to move on to things you can do for your home in a second. You can also visualize around yourself. Now these are more for protection. I focused on purification first. You can imagine yourself in a bubble, a blue bubble surrounding yourself, surrounding your aura. Some people visualize mirrors in front of them, or one on each side, so one front, one behind, and they're facing outwards. So whatever is sent at you is sent straight back. A really good one that I learned was to visualize that your aura surrounding you becomes like a white rubber. So whenever anybody throws something at you, it comes at you and wing, bounces back. So that's a couple of meditational things you can do. Now, while we're talking about visualizing, you can do this around your home as well. Play music around your home, give it a good physical clean, because that way you're exerting energy into the cleansing of it, and while you're cleaning you can be like, out negativity while you're there with your vacuum cleaner, or out negativity while you're there with your duster. It's a good way to get rid of it. And while you're doing that, visualize white light. Now what I do two different things, which is one, to project white light from my hand specifically around a room. I might go around in a clockwise direction, or I visualize the house being sealed off, so each wall, flash of white light around each wall and ceiling and the floor around the entire house. And then I imagine flat white light rising from the bottom to the top, pushing all negativity out of the house. And what my friend told me that she does is a really good example, is she goes into the corners of her room after she's done the visualizations, and she uses her finger to draw the banishing pentagram. Now, banishing pentagram is to banish negative energy or entities. Now, I thought it would be easier if I showed you a picture from a book. And you can see where the number 1 is here. So you start from the bottom. It's not showing up very well. And you go up to 2, 3, oops, 4, 5, like that. Right, let's see if I can actually just draw it. Like that. So you start in the bottom. Invoking, you start on the top line. Now, all the differences is when you are invoking and banishing. Go read up if you don't know about this, because it's in all the beginner books or online. But it's basically a physical thing you can do to be like, out negativity. And that's the mindset you want to get. You are not having this in your home, in your house. This is not your shit. You're not taking it on. Out. And be forceful with it. You don't want this. You don't want what someone else has sent to you, and that's the mindset you need to get into. Right, so moving on from no tools or very limited tools to basic tools. Let's see, what do we have? Smudging. Okay. Smudging is where the light changes really crazy on your camera. No. Maybe I'm on the right track. Smudging is where you use herbs or incense to smoke around your home. And when I said about what you're doing, visualizing white light around your room to out negativity, this is just a herbal mixture. I'll show you some different examples in a second, to reinforce your intent. Now, herbs have properties and you can empower them to help you in your task. Sorry, I am sniffly because I'm still not 100%. Now, there are 3 examples that you can use. You can buy pre-made smudge sticks. This is a pre-bought, mini-sized smudge stick. I bought a pack of, I think it was 6, and I think it was about £3 online. I think it was something like that. You can get them in lots of pagan shops. If you were in the UK, pagandreams.co.uk is a really good one. So that's a mini one, and I bought the mini one because they're easier to hold in your hand. This one has already been burnt, as you can see at the top, and you need to trim it to make sure it lights better. Now, what I do with these, this is pure sage. Okay, sage is a really good purifier, whether you use white sage or this type. This is okay. This comes into the buying versus making your own question. Now, there's nothing wrong with buying these. They will work brilliantly. I've used them for years and years and they've never let me down. Especially if you're new and you're worrying and you already feel under attack. If you can get hold of some of these, and they smell lovely. So just, you can follow yourself around with a little bowl or a little dish to catch any bits that fall off. And you just take a lighter or a match underneath and light it and burn it. And you go around the room. I go in a clockwise direction and you smudge and you're visualizing white light again, and you can go around and you can say something as simple and as basic as I cleanse all negativity from my home, or out negativity. If that, you know, just put some force behind it. Out, 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 and go around. That's one that I've bought. This is one, ooh, with a white feather on. We must be on the right track. Don't know where that's come from. Right, so this is one I made. Hello. Lavender and rosemary. Yeah, so I put that together myself and dried it out. I put the herbs together, tied it with black thread really tightly and left it to dry out. They're not hugely difficult, but I did bring in an example of a way you can make your own if you can't grow your own or haven't got access to local herbs, which is, I bought this. I've got rosemary as well, but this is sage, and it came in this packet from the local veg shop, and it was fresh cut, and I've left it to dry and empowered it myself as it's been drying. And that, all that means is, again, taking your physical energy, imagining it bright white light going into it and giving it, telling it what to do, programming it, making it, you know, bringing out its protective properties. And that's a really simple way of doing that. Now the final way, if you're worrying about you can't get hold of smudge bundles or whatever, most people have access to this, which is some form pre-made. This is stick incense. This is eucalyptus. Now, eucalyptus is one of my favourite purifying incenses, and I really like the smell, and I'm going to light one right now in a second. So eucalyptus is really good, but sometimes eucalyptus can be difficult to come by. Frankincense you can get stick incense of, and that's quite easy to come by. I can usually find that. There are others, if often they'll tell you. I don't know if this, yeah, I mean this says eucalyptus helps cleanse the air around you. It's a good cleanser, eucalyptus, one of my favourites. And you'll need, this is a bit, and this is old, you can tell how old it is, basic incense thing, although you don't have to. If you could go around the house in the same way that you use a smudge stick, and you do your little banishing pentagrams with this, and just use that to cleanse the air around you. So, just to show you that I am doing what I say I'm doing. That's now going to burn by me and purify the space around me. I have a candle burning there as well, which is something you could do if you already had a candle that is one of your favourites. Light it and let that joyful light and smell, depending if it's scented or not, purify your home. So if you already had any candle, you could bring that joy in. That's what you're doing. You're replacing the negativity with the joy. So, crystals and fossils. Okay. This is my Orthioceras It's a fossil. I bought it at a crystal shop, sphere shaped. I think it was £6 or £7, I can't remember. But fossils are really, really good for grounding yourself and grounding away negativity, because the energy they give out is old, they've been in the earth a long time, they've been subject to pressure and stress, and they've survived, and this has been created. So it's very cleansing and calming. And you take one of these or your favourite stone, and you can use the energies within it to purify yourself. Maybe hold one while you're doing the earlier mentioned meditations. There are many meditations that you can find online or in books to ease yourself and settle down. The one I just used is just one example. I didn't want to give too many because this is already going to be a long video. So hold something like that, or you could carry, like I do. This is a tourmaline in a bag, which I have cleansed and charged for protection. Now, if you're new at this and you're saying, how do I cleanse and make a crystal ready to, right, you cleanse it in salt water again. I would cleanse it on the windowsill. I put it in the water. I get a little bowl, put some rock salt in with some spring water. I stir it with my finger 3 times, and I say, may the salt cleanse the water, may the water cleanse the salt, may the salt cleanse the water, may the water cleanse the salt, may the salt cleanse the water, may the water cleanse the salt, so mote it be, or blessed be. And then I draw the invoking pentagram from the side to start with. That's how to remember the difference. If you start from up here, that's invoking. If you start from down that way, it's banishing. And the invoking is to invoke the energies into the salt water that I want it to do. So I want it to cleanse my crystals. I then put the crystal in the salt water on the windowsill and leave it overnight or for a couple of nights and to cleanse. You can leave it overnight and in the day, because then you have moon energy and sun energy cleansing it. Then when you take them out, they should feel different. They should feel cleaner and lighter. Then you can take it in your hands, in your projective hand, the hand that you write with, and you tell it what you want it to do. So I need you to be imbued with protection. And imagine, again, white light or the stone glowing, and so you have programmed it, and then you can pop it in a little bag and you can carry it anywhere with you, or you could even, tie it around here or pop it down your bra or wherever and carry it with you and know that you are protected. You have to believe, put your faith and belief that you have done these things, because your faith and energy is the most important bit. Oh, okay, so 2 really, really simple and really easy, I've put them in basic spells that you can do, is burning spells, which I'm big into and I mentioned that before, or flush spells. All you need for these is a piece of paper, black pen. You don't have to use a black pen, but black pen is better. And for the burning spell, you'd need something to burn it in, something that it would be safe in. Pot, saucepan if you have to, but don't ruin anybody's pans. I use the cauldron or a little iron pot. Or like a holder, for a big enclosed holder for a candle that's heat proof. Basically some sort of heat proof pot. Now take your little piece of paper and cut off a piece of paper or tear off a piece of paper which isn't too big, because you don't want to create too much of a mess. So maybe like this, and just write down what's happening. So in the case of the email that I got, no energy, no appetite, horrible headaches, doubting self, and you write it in black, and after you've written the things that are worrying you or being sent at you or things, something like that, you cross each one out very definitely with your black pen, and as you do it you say, you have no power over me, cross out. 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 Then fold your piece of paper 3 times and burn it. And as you're burning it, you can say something like, I've got this written down, 1 second. Do what I say. You light the candle. Oh, you could do this over a candle. You could do this over a candle. Black, preferably, or white would be best. Hold the piece of paper over the flame, saying, "Flame of candle, element of fire, burn this negativity. Allow me to be free. By the power of flame, so mote it be." Or if you didn't feel right following what I say, you just be like, element of fire, burn this negativity. Simple, to the point, direct. And then dispose of the ashes. You could either throw them straight in the bin or flush them down the loo. Now, flush them down the loo is a really simple, it sounds daft, but I'll explain it, simple way of getting rid of negativity. So, you could do the same thing, write these things down, cross them out, you have no power over me, and then rip it up into little pieces, rip it up, get rid of that negativity, rip it right up, and then go put it down the loo. By the power of water, I flush away this negativity and flush, because what does a toilet do? Okay, let's be real for a second here. It takes away all the shit. So it's something that nearly everybody, most people are going to have access to a toilet. So rip up that negativity, throw it down the loo, flush it, and see it going away. Drown out that negativity. Send it with all the other shit. Bye-bye. That's and it sounds silly, but it is a really easy, simple way of doing things. All you need is pen, paper, and a toilet. So, okay. So what about your home? Right, mirrors. When I lived in my old house with my mother and family, I had to face negativity all the time, every day. So I invested in these little tiled mirrors, and I got them off eBay. I don't know where else you get them. They were tiny. They were like that, and I would face them all facing outwards in the windows of the house. So any negativity that was trying to come in would be reflected back. If you were suffering from nightmares, you could take any mirror. I've got this one. This is my put your makeup on mirror, and just face it away from you while you're sitting at your. If you have problems at night, maybe in the windows facing out. If you're having problems while you're on the computer with YouTube, I have it here facing away from me to reflect away any negativity that's being sent. It's actually sort of facing the computer, but not me. So anything that's being sent because of YouTube or whatever, it's then being reflected away. Smudging, I have mentioned. You go around the house. You can also, you smudge yourself and your home. I didn't mention that, did I? So if you're smudging yourself, just and you know, out negativity, and you just smudging your whole self. Just smudge yourself top to bottom. You can do that with a little incense stick as well. Oh, this is a really simple little one that I was going through a problem a little while ago, and a friend of my forum sent me some stuff and some ideas how to do it. So I'm going to read you what she said about this. The underestimated nettle is a very protective herb and can be found everywhere. You can buy it, but you can find nettle. Wear gloves. The fresh leaf shoots brought to the boil for a couple of minutes and then cooled and strained make a solution that can be sprinkled around your property for a hugely protective vibe. So you go and find some fresh shoots of nettle or some leaves and wear gloves. Don't hurt yourself. Cut them, thank them for their sacrifice or offering, or be respectful. Sprinkle that around your home. My namesake, Rowan, is a very protective tree. If you have a, you can take a branch of that into your home. You can create talismans with it, or you can just hang it up above your door. It's a really protective thing. Again, with the, you charge it or program it, tell it what you want it to do. Oh, and the rune. Right, runes are. I'll tell you briefly about my history with runes. I don't get on with runes in a divination sense, but for a spellcrafting sense, they're them and me. Don't know why it's that way, but that's how it is. Right, and so you can create rune bindings. To protect yourself. Now, okay, I'll show you this. Right, this is the top of a protective oil, which I'll cover in a second, which is one of the more protective things, but you can see, that is a rune binding. That is 3 runes put together to create a rune binding. Now, it's those 3 runes put together to create that one. There are Thurisaz, Igwaz, and Elgis. If I've said them wrong, I apologise. I've said I'm good with them in spellwork, but not in divination. And they then, you draw them. Now, you can use them in a number of ways. I have spell bags around my home, which are white muslin bags with herbs in them, and that symbol is drawn on them, held, told what to do, hung up in the home. They were also drawn on my oils to reinforce what the oils are for and to protect them. You could even, I've done this in the past, take an eyeliner. I have a really bright blue eyeliner that was free, and it's a beautiful colour for like the sort of Celtic patterns that people get on them in the pictures and things, but not for wearing on my eyeliner. So here, if I'm feeling really low, I will draw that protective rune on me, on my person, and put all my power behind it as I'm doing it to protect myself. Right, so those are some intermediate things that you can do, and then we move on to slightly more complicated things. Now, I'll mention oils first. Right, this, can you see how red that looks? Is my oil of protection. Right, so I wrote down how I did it and why, so I'll just read this to you. So I wrote down, these are my rune bindings. See, that's the protective one, that's the purification one, and that's, you can, ooh, camera's gone funny now. Come on, camera, come back. Have I not written? Oh, prosperity's not down there. Okay. Oh, it is. It's just too close to the other one. Oh, bleh. Right. I did one for protection, and this one is purification with that rune on top. You can pause it and get that if you want. I'm approaching 40 minutes, so I have to hurry on through. Right, so in my protective oil there is gum arabic, dragon's blood resin, tulip, clove, frankincense, thyme, St. John's wort, angelica, dill, galangal, oak, wormwood, rosemary, chili flakes, coriander. Chili flakes is a really powerful way of doing it. While I think about it, really simple way in the kitchen you could do this. Get some garlic, get some chili flakes, and use them in something you're cooking. You could I make potato wedges, homemade potato wedges all the time. Garlic, chili flakes, olive oil, cut some potatoes up, coat them, tell them what you want them to do. So I want you to be a protective, for protection, and as you're eating them, you're imbuing yourself. that might be a really easy thing. I meant to say that earlier, but there you go. So, and then in the purification oil, there is sage, St. John's wort, lavender, rose petals, marigold, rosemary, juniper, bay leaf, star anise, cinnamon, chili flakes, copal resin. And what I do is I take my mortar and pestle, grind up these herbs. I then put a little bit of olive oil in a pan, heated them up a little bit, only a very small bit, just to get them flowing. I then put them into a clean bottle, spooned them in, and then topped up with olive oil. And topped up to here, a bit more because I've been using it. And you see this one's the one with Dragon's blood resin, so that's why it's red. And you can then use it for a multitude of purposes. You can use it to anoint yourself for protection and purification, on here, on your chest, on your wrists, on your feet, wherever you feel the need, whenever you feel the need for purification or protection. You can put it on candle and then burn the candle for that purpose. You can add it to a bath instead of, you know, a few drops in your bath water or in your sink, and then just cleanse yourself simply with it, that sort of thing. I also kept some of the purification herbs. Now this is what the herbs look like before they went in with the oil mix. So, oh gosh, come on. It's not great on the webcam, but and you can keep some of the herbs before you put them into the oil and use them as an incense. So, on a charcoal disc. So the other side of that charcoal disc, before I go on to incenses, is black salt. Black salt is really simple to make or buy from most pagan places. You can make your own by getting a charcoal disc and some salt and grinding it up in a mortar and pestle or whatever, and then you can sprinkle that around your property, and it's a really good protective thing you can sprinkle around your house. Also, Midnight Miss 1967 did a video on brick dust, which is another thing you can use. Go check her video out for that. So there's also incenses. I have here one for protection and one for purification and one for protection. I'll go through the protection one. The purification one is herbs based with salt. So salt, and you could use rosemary. I've used rosemary, lavender, bay. I'm trying to see any more. Frankincense is a good one. This is if you have access to these, or if you've bought them. If you haven't, stick with the simpler things. Now this is really, really effective. This is Fiery Wall of Protection incense. It is the bee's knees with protection. There is a basic recipe, very basic, that you can use, and you burn it on charcoal discs and you visualise big fiery walls going up around your house, and it will protect you. It is brilliant, brilliant stuff to either you can buy it. I recommend you make it if you can. The basic recipe is dragon's blood resin, which is a powerful motherfucker, frankincense, myrrh, and salt. Now into mine, I added as well, you don't have to, this is just me, cloves, bay leaf. I got a bay leaf, added him in, crushed, it was great. Bay leaf, aca gum arabic, angelica root, and copal resin. And this is what my one looks like. See if we can get this on the camera. The other one just didn't. There we go. It smells really, really gorgeous. So if you're going to burn that on charcoal disc, you get a heat-proof pot and you burn the charcoal so it starts to go white and smoke, and then pop it on, and you can just keep putting some on it. Poof, is a really powerful incense for the home and for you. You can also carry herbs around with you in sachets. Now this is actually a gauzy one, the one I've got my tourmaline in. You can get like thicker ones that it won't fall through. Did I not bring mine in? Okay, I didn't. You can use any colour, white or black, probably the best colours, however, to use for protection. And the good thing about these is you can pop those in your handbag, you can pop them, I've got one by my bed, under your pillow, you can take it with you anywhere. You could carry that quite easily on your person. It has a really, I've put it in the more complicated things because you need bits to make it with, but it's actually quite a simple thing to do. You can buy them pre-made and imbue them yourself from pagan places, but it might be better to make your own. And you could make this fiery incense and use that in a herb sachet as well. So if you made you can see how I've made a good chunk of it there. That's quite a good chunk of incense there. And you could then put some in a sachet. So again, that was dragon's blood, frankincense, myrrh and salt. And you can usually buy frankincense and myrrh together in a combination incense. Quite a lot of places sell them together in one bag. If not, you can get them on all pagan websites, in pagan shops, even in some shops that are just, you know, crystal leaf shops. You can get them in that sort of thing. I would highly recommend making the protective incense and using it for incense and for carrying it around. Again, hold it in your hands, charge it, tell it what you want it to do. Banish negativity and be forceful with it in your head and in your voice. Banish negativity. Get rid of them. Get rid of that negativity and put your force behind it, because you don't want them in your life. You don't want them fucking with your head. Is that everything I meant to cover? I should hope so. We're at 46 minutes. I told you I had an awful lot of stuff. Oh, there is one last thing. There is one last thing. This is a spell. This is a return to sender spell, which I adapted. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I will do a separate video of the whole thing. However, black candles are really good for getting rid of negativity. You know that rune that I showed you before? You could inscribe that on here for purification or for protection, or you can make your own for getting rid of negativity. To do that, you'll need a book or an online. You can find all the runes online, and then you combine them. So you just draw them down and make them into one, and it's quite a powerful way of doing it. And then you just burn that and get rid of negativity. Now I'm going to tell you what visualization to do with this that I do. Visualize the ill will being sent at you as arrows. Imagine these arrows coming toward you, halting. One dark arrow coming towards you, exploding before it reaches you, and 3 or more little arrows coming from the remains flying back out again at the sender. So one dark arrow is coming at you, the negativity being sent at you. Imagine that imploding before it gets to you, doesn't harm you, and then it rebounds by 3. So that negativity that's being sent at you, you are exploding it and returning it by 3, which is the Wiccan read, you know, karmic law. I will do another video and I will read through this spell, because this video is nigh on 15 minutes. That's the longest video I've ever done. Right, so I'll do a separate one for that, and I'll upload that straight after this one. Yes, there are people out there who will make you doubt your path. There are a whole manner of different things. I've only covered some in my nearly 50-minute video. There are so many things you can do, no matter what your level of experience. And if you are really, really worried, just ask the universe for help, saying, these people are fucking with me, I need your help. Just petition the universe, and that goddess and the god, but really the goddess is the one that I connected with first. They will listen. They will listen. Don't let anybody take your joy away from you, because that's what these people are after. They want to sap your joy. They want to stop you living your life that you're meant to. They want to put you back in the dark little box. And the truth is, you just got to say, you know what? No. This is my path. This is my... Stick your music on. Dance. Say no, 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 no. You could change the words like, F you, I'm not gonna give in to you. Do I look a muppet? Yes, I do, but I'm not letting them muck with me, and neither should you, blessedly.